Okay, so was Asher the wife of Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, or Baal? This is really interesting that you would ask this question, because Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, if I know for some of you who have been hanging out with us for a while, you know that the Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh is like the creation pattern. It's literally the power of God. It's the inhale, the exhale of creation, the power and of our own desire through the work and deed of our own hand. So it's an energetic frequency of a state of being as a creator. Mm-hmm. And it's not unified to a singular identity. Right. Okay. And this is where in our Western tradition, we would have been told that Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh was a God outside of ourselves. And that's all connected to all these different narratives that we have placed ourselves under as egregores, thought forms, that we have diminished our frequency and put ourselves under something, which then keeps us from our own sovereign stand. When you begin looking at the language and you see what's in there, you actually see it's a creation pattern. It starts with the Yod. That is the work and deed of your own hand. Hava in the middle has to do with desire. So you're working with your own desire to create. And that's Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh. As far as Baal goes, Baal is a word that means husband and sovereign.
Master.
And master. So mastery, ascended masters, does that ring a bell to anybody? Husband, what does the husband do? It helps to build with the twin energies so you can ascend. So it's confusing when we read it in these English narratives that were penned as egregores, as control systems for us to not step into our divine state of being. And I know that some of this is a huge paradigm shift. And for people, this is a difficult obstacle, that a hurdle that must be cleared, because many of us have a very strong foundation based in Christianity. And we were told all of these things were certain things, like the god of Molech and Baal and all of these things that we begin to fear. And everybody's talking about these things, you know, they're heretics. But the truth of the matter is these are vibratory presences that is actually within us in a state of being. I want to explain to you guys, when I talk about resonance, I want you to understand what the word resonance really means. And I've seen great ways of demonstrating this, but I'll explain it to us in a pattern that you can connect to. Take two tuning forks. Let's say one is, I don't know what the frequencies of the tuning forks are, but let's say there's one I know that's 440 and maybe there's one at 432, okay? You got two tuning forks. If you have them side by side and you strike the 432 one, it will not make the other one vibrate. But if you take two tuning forks and both of them are at 432 and you strike one, it automatically causes the second one to vibrate because it's the same exact resonance. I'm sharing this with you because these words, Baal, Molech, Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, are resonance, vibratory frequency words that will then match the resonance frequency within us to tune us up to their vibratory frequency. In other words, what am I saying? When you know the language, when you break down the words, when you ingest them, when you masticate them, think about what Ken has been talking about with the sheen. When you chew the meat and they become part of you, because of the resonance, you vibrate to that frequency. It changes your DNA, it changes your structure. So just like that tuning fork, every time that tuning fork is struck and you see Yod-Heh, Vav-Heh, you resonate to that vibration because you are that tuning fork. We are fine tuning ourselves through the language, through the frequency. And this is why Ken has done a great service to all of us by letting us know months and months ago, and I give him credit because he's the one that said it, about collapsing words and refilling them up with a meaning so that we can actually see what they are saying and not what we were told that they were. Anybody that knows me and has spent any time with me knows that I absolutely cannot stand to be told anything.
Can I share something on Yod-Heh, Vav?
Yeah, you can. I don't like to be told what to do, and I don't like to be told what to believe. I want the Spirit to direct my ship in the way I'm going to go, and I want the Spirit to reveal it to me. Don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
Let me discover it on my own, and then I will share with you what I have discovered, and I will never tell you a thing either, because I respect you enough, and I respect the Spirit and the light that is in you to lead you in the destination where you want to go. And if I have something to say and you want to hear me, then come and listen.
Ask a question.
Ask a question.
Yeah,
Let's walk it out together. But I will never, ever tell you anything. Yeah, that's like a violation against my own soul.
Yeah, I've learned that one. I wait for her to ask a question. I tell her nothing, and she tells me nothing. We just ask each other good questions. You learn that.
It's way more fun that way anyway.
Yeah. Well, it sets us up to succeed.
Yes,
on Baal, Asherah, and Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Again, as it to connect with that vibration. If we bring the resonance to collapse it and not distance ourselves from it, because we said that question was based on distancing ourselves, that it was already a thing. What this language does right now is you bring it present as you. And so it's saying, where are you in the vibration? Asherah and Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. And so and this is not broad. This is just putting those three words together. It's actually saying, to become the template pattern, one is to master upright.
Oh, that's so good.
That's Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, that's Baal, and that's Asherah. And so that goes right back to anyone's lesson to what I'm sharing on Saturday is the law of the sea or the law of return is everything about the upright. Mm-hmm. And so Asherah, the master, knows how to become the template, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, to become the pattern of love, to master. Baal knows upright, Asherah or Asherim or Ashta. So anyways.
That's good. Look as it. And then you bring it present to you. Forget about the echo of the past and say, wow, this is speaking to you right now. Where are you with the word? Where are you with what they are? Because there's nothing evil in it. No.
They filled it up and they project it on you, opposite in innocence, and then reform it, reconstitute it, and then become its vibration. That's the intention.
Well, here's the thing. There's literally nothing that's evil.
Nothing.
The only reason why we see that it's evil is because we project something on it to separate ourselves from it.
Right. Or we filled it up and given it a form.
It doesn't even exist.
Right. Yeah. All we've done is we filled something up and we've given it a form and a shape, and we haven't returned to what the definition of returning to the mark. And therefore we're still in declination or disgrace because we haven't returned grace to its right standing. So it's just a distance from one thing to another. Right.
That's it. And we actually see that everything is opportunity. Yeah. And I know that's even shocking for us to say it because, you know, if we're sitting and we're being truthful about this, there's a lot of things that we can judge that are evil in the world. There are things that are happening that none of us that are sitting here would do. But what did you do in your previous life?
Right, we have no idea.
Okay, I know my previous life, and I would have been considered very evil. Like none of you would be having a conversation with me at all. In fact, I would have been chewing you up and spitting you out for breakfast in my previous life. It was a horrible existence. It scared me when I tapped into that energy. I was like, oh my God, but then it made sense why this incarnation is the way it is. So I have much honor and respect for those that choose the dark path because it has been an incredible catalyst for us to rise up in the light.
And it promotes you if you can see it correctly, it promotes you and propels you into neutrality.
Yes.
And it breaks free of the dualistic construct where it's the us and it's them. Because in our present, it's us and it's them. But when you realize, well, there's most likely past experiences, and we had to integrate, and now you are in a different part of who you are for the greater expression. So it really brings it down to seeing it like, wow, right?
Yeah.
Seeing yourself in a different light. If
any of you have been able to go on and see some of the comments, Carolyn left a fantastic comment on Lisa's Moonology and about this exact same thing. And that's why I kind of wanted to bring it up today because there was a discussion there about unconditional love and what does that look like for those that are in that negative energy and that negative vibration that by us walking in our state of unification as one, helping them to let go of that pole in order to unify. And it's such grace and it's such loving kindness to be able to offer that. And, you know, it's like, oh, I just got this wonderful picture. I've seen this over and over and over and over again. It's like you have this like wild animal. Any of you have tried to what is it? Tame a feral cat. There you go. Try to tame a feral cat, right? And your heart is absolutely pure loving kindness. You're like, if you would just only know, if you could just experience the love I have for you and what I'm offering you, but you're so full of fear and you don't want to trust me.
Well, that's
and it's like time in
Yeah.
and time in and time in until they can finally begin to trust you. And then the next thing you know, they start coming up to you and you start hearing them purr, right? But before, they're going to claw your face off and bite your finger off and, scare the crap out of you because they're so vicious. It's the same kind of thing. And so it's the patience and the loving kindness. And that's why this Aleph is so powerful. Because when we are all operating from that place, that radiating unconditional love begins to make the space for trust to happen. You know what I'm saying? So those ferals, those feral wild seed that we would call evil, begin to see that there's a different vibration and they can come out of their hiding and they can actually begin to explore their heart because there's a world that is being established in trust. You will know them for their love. And this is a key element. And this is why the language and why we're all here is so important, because it heals our own shadow. And as soon as you heal your shadow, you will see everything as lovely. You will not distance yourself from anything. You will see yourself as lovely, and you will see the lovely in everything and everyone. You will see the beauty. And before, maybe you weren't. I mean, we can name a whole lot of political figures that many of us have not been able to see the lovely in until you unify yourself. And then you're like, I see that spark of divinity in you. You just don't see it, but I see it very clearly. Let's get you over this hurdle. Let's welcome you back home as family.
Well, you said something interesting, and I don't know if you said that you make space.
Yeah.
And that's a very pointed word, because space has to be centered.
Yeah.
And so that whole language of making space comes 2D to 3D, and it becomes your atmosphere. So you're making our own atmosphere. The atmosphere is based off of us being centered in it, and that's the language of sphere. So you're no longer in circle by direction. You've created your own space, and that's what we're all doing right now. We're creating space, and this is where we have the language of a reach, where spherically we have an auric field around us. Some is small and some are largest, but we are creating space around us, and this is the essence of heaven. And so this is what we're going to, because we don't trust ourselves, we'll never create the space.
That's right.
We'll live in a 2D reality. We're in a 3D form. We're very flat. We haven't gone anywhere. We haven't stepped away from the 2D plane to create the intention of heaven on earth. Space.
Exactly.